I come from a Catholic country and a very Catholic part of the country, the west of Ireland, County Mayo. And when you see on the altar small boys as altar boys, now more recently that has opened up to girls, but girls will not go on to be priests. The tradition when I was growing up in the west of Ireland was that women knew their place, and their place was in the home. And that is so true of many cultures still in our world. The role of the woman is as wife and mother. Not only as wife, husbands are entitled to beat their wives, and wives accept that husbands are entitled to beat them, because that's so much part of the framing, that somehow they are not equal. Many women do not eat with their husbands or with guests of their husbands. They serve, they are submissive, and all of this is very much part of a way of implying in the whole approach that for women to be well thought of by God, they must accept their role. This then goes on to more difficult areas, which I was addressing. It goes on to female cutting, female genital mutilation. It's impossible to tackle except from within, through the education of women and their empowerment. But it also needs the education of the traditional leaders who reinforce this harmful traditional practice by saying it is our culture. It's not culture, it's a harmful traditional practice. And there are some traditional leaders now who are changing, and the change is wonderful because girls no longer have to suffer this damaging cutting that can have terrible repercussions later in their lives. And this is what we want. We want to inspire more leaders from within the religious and traditional communities to understand, and they are mainly male leaders, and that they have a role, and that mothers with their sons have a role. I often say that mothers are role models for their sons, not just their daughters. And I know from my work as UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, so much of it stems from a religious framing that subjugates women. They are second class. And then it's also traditions of traditional leaders. And it's very hard for women to assert out of that. So it's extraordinarily important that boys and men, and of course religious leaders, most of whom are men, faith leaders, understand that they must change and that there must be a strong affirmation of the equal status in the home, in the community, in the religious expression of the community, in political sphere, right through, of the equal contribution and the equal standing and the equal dignity of women and girls to boys and men.